Little bit of a later show on today's Philadelphia Eagles now because the Birds just got off the practice field at the NovaCare Complex with those joint practices happening this week in the lead up to Thursday's preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. Plenty to get to on that front. Philadelphia making a signing, and should they address punter that's coming your way? First, though, just want to say thank you to all of the real ones for your continued support of everything that I do here on Eagles Now. For our watch party over the weekend against the Ravens, set a couple of records for the preseason. 45,000 views. We picked up 450 new subscribers, and we surpassed 48,000 subscribers right here on the show. If you're looking for year-round Eagles content that's unbiased, that's real, that's raw, that's informative, insightful, and entertaining, we have you covered here on the show. Lock us in and hit that sub button. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. It's still summertime, even though the summer days are waning to a certain degree, as evidenced by the sun starting to go down a little bit earlier. But you're still going to be spending a lot of time outside by the pool. And are you always trying to be trimmed up for your significant other? Who wants a George W. Bush down below the waist? Nobody. Take care of it with Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/chat. Promo code chat for that deal to apply. So we start off with Philadelphia making a signing here. And in the wake of Sean Bradley's torn Achilles, which he suffered on Saturday against the Baltimore Ravens, he's now out for the year. Special teams ace the last 3 years since coming out of Temple University. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed a massive defensive tackle, and you already know I'm going to knock this pronunciation out of the park. Olive Sagapolu. That is the defensive tackle that Philadelphia is inking to this roster. He is 6'2", 330 pounds. Of course, the corresponding roster move putting Bradley on season-ending IR. He is 26 years old. He played his college football at Wisconsin. So far in the NFL, he has not appeared in an NFL game. He's gone back and forth with a couple of practice squad stints with several teams across the league. Most recently played in the USFL. And did I tell you that this dude was a massive interior defensive lineman, 6'2", 230. Here's a look at Olive Sagapolu. Yeah, we're crushing it here on Eagles Now. I highly doubt, obviously, that he makes the roster, but I'm intrigued to see him on the field for Thursday's game potentially against Cleveland, just to see how much space he occupies. Philadelphia is so loaded along that defensive line. After today's practice on Monday, Hassan Reddick, he called Jalen Carter a dog. He's been having a great training camp. He said, we're so deep along the defensive line, we call it 1A, 1B. Now let's get to some special teams talk. The Philadelphia Eagles punter situation continues to be a problem. It was a problem in the Super Bowl as Aaron Siposs was not good, and the momentum of that game flipped when Kadarius Toney, because of a bad punt, was able to return that ball inside the 5 to set up a Chiefs score. And preseason last year, we think about the Eagles in 2022. 14-3, home field advantage, number 1 seed in the NFC. They made it to their second Super Bowl since 2017. They were so good offensively setting records, so good defensively setting franchise records. Special teams, though, did come under fire, and a lot of people wanted Michael Clay, special teams coordinator, to be canned. He's back, but punter remains an issue. The current punters who have been duking it out throughout training camp and the preseason so far, the incumbent in Aaron Siposs, and then the rookie UDFA out of Kansas State in Ty Zentner. None of them have done a great job of really being all that impressive. There's a great punter out on the market who hasn't signed with the team, and there are reasons why. That is the punt god, Matt Araiza, formerly of San Diego State, 6th-round pick 2 years ago by the Buffalo Bills. A reason why he's not on a team. Many of you are familiar with the situation. He was named a defendant in a gang rape case back in 2022. So a defendant in a gang rape case back in 2022. And in light of that situation, he was released by the Buffalo Bills. But a few months later, it was found that criminal charges not filed, and an internal investigation found no wrongdoing. Matt Araiza's defense team said that Matt Araiza wasn't even present for that entire situation. Now, a civil case remains ongoing, but Matt Araiza is looking to sue the person accusing him of this for defamation. Now, my thoughts on this, he would fill a big need on this team, and he would make this team as the number one punter and the only punter on this 53-man roster because, of course, you're not going to use another roster spot at that position. The signing of Matt Araiza would come with a lot of controversy, but he's not facing charges and wasn't found guilty. So if he's not facing charges and wasn't found guilty, and him and his defense team are saying that he wasn't present and he's not getting in trouble, at what point is an NFL team going to take a chance? And we've seen Philadelphia take chances on players who maybe have some type of legal controversy. Not many of them, because I think I saw this stat the other week. Since like the early 2000s, the Eagles have some of the fewest arrests among all teams in the National Football League. But I'd be intrigued by the idea if everything checks out with the Araiza because he wasn't found guilty. A great punter at San Diego State, record-setting in fact, 51.1 yards per punt. Are you kidding me? An FBS record. That's why he was named the punt god. 39 punts of 50-plus yards. That set an FBS record. He had 18 punts of 60-plus yards back in 2021 when San Diego State had a really good season. That, too, a record. Can you imagine Eagles fans, again, if everything legally checked out, reacting to some of those 60-yard boots to flip the field? And I do believe that Araiza would be a valuable weapon. Imagine, he's punting from his end zone, and he's able to punt a ball to the opposing 30, 25, 20-yard line with a couple of bounces in there potentially because of that big booming leg. That's a massive thing because it goes from a team having the ball around midfield to getting pushed back closer to their goal line, and field position is really important. But Eagles fans watching him boot the ball, yo, Araiza, he's got a leg, dude. That's why they call him the punt god. Like, it would be incredible just to see those reactions from the Philadelphia faithful. But to round this subject matter out, to be real, there's real value in having a good punter. We saw it in the Super Bowl last year when a couple of bad punts impacted Philadelphia negatively. I'd think about bringing him in, especially if Aaron Siposs and Ty Zentner continue to not get the job done. Araiza's out there. He's free to sign with the team. And when he was with Buffalo in the preseason, he had a massive boot back in the preseason before he was let go. That was really impressive. So should Philadelphia sign the punt god in Matt Araiza? Give me an S for sign or a P for pass. Let me know down in the comment section right now. As for the Eagles injury report going into practice, and then we'll get to some players who were banged up today in that joint practice with Cleveland. That includes Jason Kelsey and Landon Dickerson. Britton Covey did not practice because of a hamstring. Patrick Johnson because of an ankle injury. Quez Watkins, hamstring injury, did not practice. And then Deon Cain limited with an ankle injury. Training camp updates and training camp takeaways. Instant reaction coming up here just around the corner. First, though, as I mentioned off the top, off the rip, Philadelphia Eagles Now is presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/chat. This summer, it's not about the size of those cannonballs, if those of you are hanging out by the pool. It's about making a splash with our friends at Manscaped. You can prep for barbecue season by making sure your grill master has the hottest dogs this summer's ever seen. And when you're at the cookout, let the meat do the talking. Like Nick Sirianni going for it on fourth down, pull out those balls, but make sure those balls are clean with Manscaped, of course. The Performance Package 4.0 will get you right, and it's time to get ready and not sweaty by heading to manscaped.com/chat. Performance Package 4.0 has everything that you need to guarantee you'll have the most mouth-watering treats at the party. They have built the ultimate bundle for your summer grooming. Lawnmower 4.0 features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. And did I mention the trimmer is waterproof as well? Interchangeable blades, the battery life lasts a really long time, and in their Performance Package 4.0, nose hair trimmer, You get the boxer briefs, which are awesome. Lawnmower 4.0 is the headliner, but that's not all you get. The travel case, crop preserver, ball deodorant. Get it all right now. Manscaped.com/chat. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. So some training camp takeaways I want to get to as the Eagles just got off the field. Reed Blankenship had an interception of Deshaun Watson. Eagles defense did perform well this afternoon. His strong camp continues. He's all but solidified one of the starting safety spots. As for who else is going to start alongside him at safety, we're not sure. Terrell Edmonds, Kayvon Wallace, Sidney Brown, Justin Evans all seem to be in the mix there. As for Sidney Brown, he got some first-team reps today at starting safety. So too did Nicholas Morrow as well as Christian Ellis. Brown did have a sack, and this goes back to how I've talked about him being utilized, where he could play in the box, he can play deep safety as well. If you follow me on Twitter at Chase_Senior, I tweeted out some film breakdowns of Sidney Brown's range. The 4.4 40-yard dash speed was on display, and he doesn't have any type of fear of hitting somebody. Now, he did have a 16.5% missed tackle rate last year with the Fighting Illini, but what you can't teach sometimes is aggressiveness and instincts. He showed that in that preseason opener against Baltimore. The Eagles' offensive line did struggle today against Cleveland. That's a very good defensive front led by Myles Garrett, who did leave the practice field. The Browns' defensive line really dominating the Eagles' offensive line throughout the day. Jalen Hurts was sacked a couple of times. He did link up with Devontae Smith on a couple of long balls, but in a real game, he may have gotten sacked in some of those situations. I talked about Hassan Reddick a little bit earlier, saying that Jalen Carter has had a great training camp, that he's a dog. Well, this is pretty interesting, too, because Hassan Reddick and Nolan Smith, two very similar players. Reddick's also complimented Smith. Jordan Mailata called Nolan Smith a mini Hassan Reddick, and the mini-me's, they combined for a solo sack each on Deshaun Watson. Kenny Gainwell, we discussed him last week, looks as though he's going to be the first-team running back. Now, I think it's going to be running back by committee, but on that first and second down type of situation, I think you might see Kenny G. And then DeAndre Swift might be this third down back for Philadelphia's offense who could catch the ball out of the backfield. His big carry on third down on the first possession on Saturday was impressive. Like, he took the rock, approached the line of scrimmage, sensed the defender to his left, jumped outside, and was able to get out to the perimeter, then finish that run really strong by lowering that shoulder. I loved what I saw on that particular run. Jalen Carter did have a fumble recovery today as he continues to put together a very good training camp. And then banged up today. Josh Sweat left. He came back. Jason Kelsey left the field. He said that he's okay. Landon Dickerson has his left foot wrapped, but he's walking around okay. And then Jeff McClain said that he left early, but he's out here after practice with his ankle taped, and he looks fine. So those are all of the developments, all of the happenings on the Eagles front. So that's it for today. If you made it this far, give me a real one, Real John, down below. Appreciate everybody who tuned into the program today. Hope you all had a great Monday and you were able to knock off those Monday blues cobwebs. We're going to be going live tomorrow on Eagles Now. Usually we go live Thursday. We're still going live Thursday, but for a watch party. So join us tomorrow for our live show, and we'll kind of preview what's to come on Thursday against Cleveland and pass along all of the latest Eagles news. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. Subscribe to the show. Turn on those noties. Therefore, when we do go live, you'll be notified.